Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pullze Check podcast, man. Guys, today for you, we got some not new guests, but I like to consider fan favorites, We got my boy EBatez, we got my boy JGOD, and then we got my boy Ryda. What's good, man, fellas?
What's up, fellas?
How we doing, man? How we doing?
Good. Talk to me, Ryda. Talk to
man.
me.
Hey, we're playing the best. We're playing the best version of Warzone we've ever had.
Oh,
we're feeling good, man.
Wait. What's the money in your hand, bro? Wait.
How to get some things ready?
$100. Wait.
Things ready. Get some things ready.
Oh, shit. Care package coming with the heat.
Wait a minute, bro.
We had to get some things ready. Had to get some things ready.
No.
Okay. Listen, bro. I'll say this. Before we even start, this is the biggest, in my opinion, mixed feelings from like creators, bro. On one hand, I see creators saying this is like Warzone 2, this shit's ass, this shit's whatever. And then on the other hand, I have creators like, bro, this is the best we've ever had in a long time. So I like this. Let's fucking discuss. Fellas, it has been a week since the game has came out. And we're gonna talk about all the changes and shit, right? But as of right now, how are you guys feeling about the game? And I want JGOD to go first, EBatez, and then Ryda. All right? JGOD, talk to me.
I agree with Ryda. I think it will be once they get some of these things that are actually fixable. I still think the audio's trash. Hands down.
Did his audio cut out? Did his audio just go out? The fuck is that?
Right above me, but no, they were like in the building next door and I could hear it crystal clear, but then other people I cannot hear at all. So it's like super weird how audio is so bugged without any kind of loudness, EQ, or any of that. We shouldn't be playing the game that way. The game should just have good audio without any of those things. But besides that, I think there's still a lot of visual shake, which isn't good. But overall, the meta is about as wide as it can be or has been, and can only get better. I think the movement, especially after the Stim reversion, the stims are freaking nasty. Good to use. I'd rather get hit with somebody doing a stim move on me than doing stuns or flashbangs.
True.
And it just has that. Smokes I haven't really seen a lot of. There is a lot of sniping. So I don't know if that's a good thing, really, to flinch or whatever the hell, or the other guns just suck because of the visual, that you might as well use a sniper. At least you get the one hit down. But I think it's in a really good spot to really continue moving forward.
Okay.
Despite the flaws, like obviously you just take it for what it is. But when you sit down and actually compare to Warzone 2, it is laughable how bad that game and the state of that game was. And people I know will make the comment, they'll go, oh, why do we got to keep coming out with a new game each year? Shocker, a spoiler right here. If Warzone 2 was as good as they thought it was going to be, we wouldn't have had the changes we saw in MW3, and we wouldn't see the changes that we see now. These are like course corrections for the flop that was Warzone 2. Just like in Warzone 1, we had some changes that's changed with 84, not that big a deal. And then they had a change again with Caldera. Slight differences, but not like night and day differences. Warzone 2 really set the franchise back the 2 years it's taken to get us back to where we are. I like the lack of backpack. I mean, I can go on. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Right.
There's also a lot of buggy shit. So it is what it is.
We're going to talk about everything, right? So, I mean, JGOD, you spitting. EBatez, talk to me, man. What you think about the game, man? I know you've been going to hella parties and shit, taking videos and pictures with all these superstars and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
But I don't know if you play the game or not, you know what I'm saying? But
when I get time on my free time, I've been playing the game a little bit, and at the core of the game is solid. I like the core of the game. I think the gunplay is great. I think the movement's great. I love Area 99. I know a lot of people kind of have mixed emotions on it. I still think Resurgence's fucking horrible, and it's terrible. So if you guys are playing big map, I feel so terrible for you, because it's just not meant for this game. But I think the core of the game itself is amazing. There's just some serious issues that I do kind of want to get into a little bit. I think there's obviously a huge bullet reg issue going on. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I feel like I die super fast, and then sometimes gunfights feel normal. So I don't know what's going on. There's something it's either double bullets or it's all hitting you at once. I know there's been a desync issue where 5 bullets will hit you at once and it feels like you just got sniped even though you didn't. I mean, we ranked obviously just dropped. I've seen all the CDO guys tweeting about cheaters and stuff. Don't know what kind of, I don't know how that's gonna translate to Warzone. It's probably gonna be even worse, especially Warzone rank coming out, I think like next month or something. So that scares me. And then I think audio in general is like not horrible. I just think it's sad that we have to get like I got Artist Wars tune and it's great and like I like it and I can hear stuff pretty well, but it's for me it's like it's sad that we have to even like download anything else that's just not the standard audio in order to just like play the game at a normal pace. Like it's just the fact that I have to hear like in order to hear footsteps consistently, I have to download like some program that like tunes like a certain frequency so I can hear footsteps better. I don't know. I just think that's another huge issue, but in general the game's pretty solid. I think it feels like a lateral move from Warzone 3, but with that being said, I think there's a lot more potential to grow. So it's like, it feels like from Modern Warfare 3 to Black Ops 6 Warzone, it feels like a pretty lateral move, but I think we kind of reached the peak of Modern Warfare 3, and I think with Black Ops 6, we could, go up even more. It's just a matter of what kind of updates we get within the next six months or so.
Okay. All right. Mr. Ryda, man, talk to me, bro. How you feeling?
But I'm going to go out before I start. I don't get the Activision packages for everybody in chat, so this has nothing to do with that. Okay, this is pure heart. It doesn't matter if I'm going.
Send straight cash, right?
No, straight cash. No, seriously, I don't get the packages. I don't get the cool guy packages. I don't get any of that. I went the next last year. I'm blessed to go. If I'm going back this year, great. If not, it doesn't matter. I love the game. I love the game. This is the best the game has ever been in any integration we've ever had. It's in the most positive state of any integration we've ever had. If you go back, I told Brax this on Twitter. Brax is crying crazy on Twitter about how bad the game is. The game has been miles worse. I'm talking miles worse. If you go back to the Caldera integration, there was people that couldn't play the game. There was people on console that couldn't play the game for weeks, months. There were people that physically grew to hate the game and quit playing the game. We saw the downfall of Warzone from that point on. That caused a person like me to leave Verdansk and go play the Rebirth Island, which caused me to love the Rebirth Island. That might have caused the splurge in the Resurgence hype we have today because of Caldera. And then you talk to people like Joe Woe himself, who would say that Caldera is the best version of Warzone we've ever had. So we had that release, then we had the Warzone 2 release, who we all know how that went. That was shambolic, but there were people that made the most of it. There were the people that didn't enjoy it. There were people that quit the game. So we could be in a whole lot worse of a position. This is the position we're in right now is phenomenal. Now, is that to say that mantling, it needs to be sped up? Is that to say that we need like sleight of hand in the game? Of course, we need a few of those things. Audio needs tweaked. I think like what JGOD said, I think snipers need to be looked at to a certain extent. Maybe that's because the long range TTK is so hot, or I should say, it's so slow that people would rather snipe.
I think it's
from
the
those distances.
TTKs are actually fine. It's just more the visual shake and lack of bullet velocity.
Maybe that as well.
It's like 30% less bullet velocity than we had back in Warzone 1, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And then also the visual shake, you can't get rid of it.
Right. So I think that hinders people at distances, and they're just like, "Wow, to snipe." And then if you get 4 people sniping, we're back to almost like the Car 98 in Warzone 3, where people, it's not fun to a certain extent. One shot headshot, you're down, Again, for the most part, I've not played Rebirth Island yet. I'm a Rebirth guy. I've not played Rebirth. I love Area 99. I wish we would continue to play Area 99. It's 8 times the map that Rebirth has ever been. It's phenomenal. It's mixy as hell. It's a phenomenal map. But I played one big map tournament. The big map, it's still bad. Like Ethan said, it's still bad. It feels like the game should not be played on the map. Those of you guys that only ground big map, I understand where the frustration is.
Yeah.
But Resurgence, Resurgence is Resurgence, and it's been doing numbers. That's why they've been updating it. So, but all in all, to answer your question, like I said, I think the game's great. Few bug changes. This shit could go crazy. I'm serious.
Yeah, bro. Look. Okay, so I'm gonna answer this now, right? And I'm gonna keep it $150. You asked me this last week, right? You asked me this when the game launched, or even Friday, Saturday. I would tell you, hey dog, we are cooked, bro. Like, audio's horrendous, movement feels hella delayed. Like, look at all these munition boxes are slow. All this, there's so many things, right? That I was like, at the start of last week. I'm gonna keep it $150 now. If you don't think that this game is not even miles better than what it was a week ago, Call of Duty might simply not be for you anymore. Because genuinely, I agree with Ryda, I agree with JGOD, I agree with EBatez. Dude, I have all week. I'm not even kidding. Go to my YouTube channel right now. I have 5 videos absolutely torching the fuck out of Activision all week, right? But I will also praise them whenever they do good. This, bro, the amount of updates, which we'll go over right now, that they've done in the last week to get the game to where it's at right now is actually miles better. Now, I understand that some people might have had a bad taste in their mouth from the first day and first 2 days, and then they give up. Okay, I get it, right? Again, I agreed with you. Now, in my opinion, bro, I'll be playing the game, and there's little instances where I'm like, ooh, was that dopamine I feel right there?
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I was like, you know, like even shooting the guns, like I'm like, ooh, is this kind of like Cold War feel right here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. There's a couple things for me. There's one big thing, and I guess it'll lead into the next section of this, right? Is for me, the biggest thing that I made a whole list of the 5 things that I think need to be addressed ASAP, or that are like the big things. And I think they've addressed 4 out of those 5, 3 out of those 5. And the one that I thought was going to take forever was the movement one. And they fixed that shit in like 4 days, which I'm being so dead ass. If I thought the movement changes would happen 6 months in, I did not in a million years think it would take fucking 4 or 5 days. Hell no. So clearly something is different. Something, because we asked from last year, Modern Warfare 3, the slide cancel delay, that delay that you get after slide canceling when you can attack sprint. There was a 1 second delay. That's still in the game from last week. We complained about it since beta. Nobody, eventually people just got used to it. People just got used to that shit. And so, yeah, they fixed that shit first week, and I'm like, wow. So for me right now, the biggest thing is like, I'm very surprised that they made any changes this fast, right? You can make the argument, I'm not disagreeing with you, that these things should have never have released, right? We're taking a step backwards. You're right. But to me, think about Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, how much of a big step back that was, and how nothing moved forward. How it took 6 months, 3 months, 4 months for things to actually start progressing forward, right? This year, we took a step back. Sure, I don't disagree with you. You're right. But look how fast they're taking steps forward to try and get back to where we were, right? Again, the whole issue of why are we even taking a step back is a bigger issue. That's the question that which I do want to discuss.
You saw the thing about that, right? With the what's his name's tweet?
Oh, Ghost.
The future, yeah.
Yeah, which I do have it here. We'll discuss. But that's a bigger issue in the sense of like, should Warzone continue to be changed every single year? Should Warzone continue to be like, should it integrate with the new Call of Duty every single year? Because no matter what, if people want that, we're starting from 0 every year. Like, or does Warzone become its own separate thing that has its own base movement, has its own base, I guess, default, system, and they just improve on that every year? We will talk about, right? But honestly, right now, I'm having fun. And I could not say that during Warzone 2. Last year, Modern Warfare 3, I think was a good year. I think it was great. Like, default perks made it so much more fun. The map sucks, which still sucks, right? Which is why I'm on Area 99. And I love Area 99. I actually really enjoy that map. But yeah, I think right now the game is in a good spot. Am I saying that it's perfect? Fuck no. I'm just saying, like, yo, if the game is like this first week, oh brother, I'm curious to see what happens, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and et cetera, et cetera. So I think we all kind of agree that the game is in a pretty good spot, because we've had far worse, fellas. We've had far worse. Yeah, so look, let's go over the things that they changed, and I'll go kind of one by one, right? First and foremost, last Saturday they came out with a patch, right? Oh shit! Whoops! Oh, I knew I was gonna fuck up something. Hold on, fellas. Let me fix this real fast. And where's this shit at? Here. Take this. There we go. Okay. Interesting. Why is this not working anymore? Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second.
You're chilling.
Just do this. There you go. There you go. That should fix it. All right. I should just bugged out on me. All right. So now back. So, yeah, bro. So they released a new update on Saturday, right? This was Saturday. And to me, this update made a very big difference, in my opinion. I want you guys' opinion on this, in how the game felt and how much fun I was having. Because the first 2 to 3 days of this shit, I was like, nah, this shit's chalked. Audio's ass. I raged off. Right. After this update, pretty much what the first bullet here they're talking about is fix several issues with occlusion, enemy footsteps, ascender, and parachute audio. Our team are hard at work on additional audio updates, and this is just the first of several steps we're taking to improve the Warzone audio experience. Fellas, let's talk about that real quick. What is y'all's thoughts on the audio as of right now?
It's gotten a lot better, and it's not horrible. It's just, I don't know. There's inconsistencies and the verticality is kind of weird. Like, I don't know whether someone's like above me or below me sometimes, but it's gotten a lot better. Like day one, dude, it was obsolete. Like there was literally no audio. So things have gotten a lot better very fast. So that I could be happy about.
Okay. All right. JGOD, what do you think about the audio, man?
I think it's still awful. Using bass audio, yeah.
Okay.
I think there's too much noises going on that distract from basic footsteps. I don't know if there's like some ambient noise or what, but it's just weird.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ryda, what you think, man?
I use art as well. So I think the audio is okay. I can agree with JGOD. I think my son plays on console. I think bass audio is horrible. It's atrocious. Anyone that doesn't wear headphones, if you play, on a TV, or you're cooked. You're not hearing anybody, especially because you don't have Flex yet. It's absolutely terrible.
Flex won't have audio.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It's only the delayed triggering effects.
Yeah, they nerfed
equipment.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think the audio thing needs looked at. Like I said, I haven't played Rebirth yet. I've seen a lot of complaints about Rebirth. Resurgence audio seems good, but like he said, verticality sometimes, like it just seems like you just can't tell where, someone's near you, but you don't know where they are. Like you just know. And it's like a game sense thing from that point on. Area 99, the audio is not up to par yet, in my opinion. It needs like another update. I think the parachutes are too loud though, to a certain extent, and so are ascenders. You used to be able to make plays on zip lines when people were so far away from zip lines. You can't do that anymore.
Okay.
Especially that you can't jump off of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I've noticed the parachute audio. Like you think somebody's like 10 meters above you and you look up, they're like 40.
Usually like when you're playing Resurgence and you hear the parachute audio, you can look up and probably shoot that person. On Area 99, you can't do that. Like they're like spawn level, flying around. Like,
dude, so look, for me, in my opinion, the audio, you asked me last week and that shit was quite literally non-existent, like no troll, non-existent last week. This update, right, the one that we're talking about right here, definitely did improve it. I'm not trolling. It felt like there was zero audio like last week. So if zero was the number that last week was, right, at launch, I would say right now it's about like a 30, 40.
Yeah.
Right? Still not 100.
I can agree with that.
Right? Like it's not. I'm not saying that this shit's perfect, but I can play the game, and every once in a while I'll be like, fuck, I didn't hear that guy. But then most of the time, at least for me, I feel like, okay, like I can hear the guy. I'm not rocking art audio right now. I have tried it. I just never liked virtual audio. I've never, right? That's just me. I do have loudness EQ though. So I will say for console players, I feel like a lot of the people that are saying that it's bad are a lot of console players, which I understand. Like if they don't have loudness EQ, at least that's what I think is causing the game to feel at least bearable for me, right? Not art is war, just loudness EQ.
Yeah. For me, I even go default. I don't use even loudness EQ.
Really?
I don't compete, so I don't give a fuck about my stats or any of that stuff.
Right.
So like, I want to play the game exactly the way everyone else is playing it, and then I can actually just give honest feedback, right? About the things, because in the case, once you start listening to the other audio, then it's like, well, you don't really know what it sounds. You know what it sounds like once it's filtered. Even with loudness EQ, which is like half the players are on console, so they ain't even gonna have that.
Yeah. So I mean, look, they needs to be fixed 1000%, but definitely improved. Which for me personally, this made me enjoy the game a little bit, because before I was raging off, right? So. Yeah, so for the next one, which, oh God, we're going to go back to this, right? But this says, fix an issue where the stim shot was giving double the desired speed boost for 3 seconds. The stim should now give 15% movement speed for 1 second. The stim ticks up to the speed, holds it for 1 second, and then ticks down from the speed.
And they ended up reverting that.
Yes, then they ended up reverting this, which was what, yesterday?
I believe it's still 15. For 3 seconds now, which is definitely noticeable. Like you use it and you're like, damn, it's still going.
Yep.
Have my boost, like, oh shit. And then it does stack with Resolute, I believe, up to 20% total, because Resolute's 15 and this is 15, but it caps at 20.
Yeah. So this, why they did this, I have no idea. I mean, I posted a video today about talking about this, and I was like, why is it when it comes to nerfs, they're so quick to do drastic measures? Like, I'm talking like this, they nerfed it to the ground, unusable. But when it comes to buffs, it's always incremental buffs. For example, like reload speeds, 10%. Didn't feel that much different, right? Yeah. But when it came to nerfing stims, they nerfed the shit to the ground to where it's literally unusable. Right?
Well, 10%, it's really hard even then, because a lot of the guns that were LMGs probably saw a more noticeable difference, because obviously if it's a 5-second reload, that's going to be like half a second. But if it's a rifle that's like a 3-second, then it's like 300 milliseconds. So it does scale. They said that they still plan to do another pass. But I think they're just like, they don't want to overdo something, but it's fine to reduce it. But the complaints also, if they, let's say they overdid it and then they like, oh, you know what, we overdid it, and then they cycle it back, and then it's just gonna be people complaining about, they ruined it. So
it was so great.
I think there's a double edge that with that part of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's for me right now. For those that don't know, I'm gonna bring it up. What date was that? It was probably the 19th, right? Where they fixed the. No, let's see. This was okay here. Wait, when did they fix that stims? All right, here, got it.
I don't know. They had a double patch note day too, which I can't recall ever happening. I was like, what the hell?
Right, bro. So it said the speed boost duration has been increased from 1 to 3 seconds. Upon the launch of Warzone, we identified a critical issue and in response, temporarily reduced both the speed increase and the duration of stim shots while we worked on a solution. Our goal is to offer a meaningful speed boost with a clear upper limit to ensure balance and consistent combat encounters. As it stands, both Resolute and Stim Shot provide a 15% speed boost each, with their combined effects capping at 20%. This allows players to experiment with various combinations to reach the maximum impact. So they found a middle ground, right?
Right.
Thoughts on it so far, fellas?
I think it feels
great.
great.
It's good. Yeah. It doesn't need to be like what it was before, and it's definitely noticeable. There was times where I would get shot, I'd stim, and I'd be able to get my ass around the corner, and you're still alive. And then when you played, it's so smooth. Like to be able to play slide still, it's just so freaking smooth. It's nice.
I think the good thing about making stims viable is they're all over the map with the medic, like the medic little medic cabinets and stuff too. So like even if you just pick one up, like you want to be able to use it. If they're not good, then you're just, those things are worthless besides getting like maybe a random self revive out of them. So I think it'll encourage like players to just open those medic crates and looting and everything, and just kind of using the map to the fullest. Like instead of just like, I don't want to grab a stim. Like those things are horrible.
Right. Okay.
I think there needs to be, I think the way they was too much. I know all the movement kids are like mad about that, but I think that it was just too much. I think when they changed it, it was bad. And now where it is now, it feels really good. I think the biggest thing that we need to look forward to, and with the tacticals, is we need to make it so when you go to your tactical slot, you're like, fuck, do I want to use a smoke or a stim or a flash? Like they should all be on a level playing field to where you can, when you go around the map and you kill people, the first guy you kill has a stim, the second guy you kill has a flash, the third guy has a stun. So it's balanced across the board. That's how it should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in Warzone, the last Warzone we played, it was smokes. So you killed somebody, you got a smoke. Killed somebody, you got a smoke. You knew you were going to get a smoke. So with the, I mean, I use stims on Area 99. I think it's dope. I think they're great now.
Last game, you kill somebody, you get 3 PAs, a muni box,
to tack onto that, in Warzone 1, I don't remember ever having any of them be worth using.
No, they weren't.
None of them were even worth using. It was basically a dead slot. And then they did make them a little bit
stuns
strong at the end of Warzone 1 with Caldera. Like right at the end, obviously we had the stim meta. And then as soon as they switched over to Warzone 2, it went to the smoke because the movement was so slow. You started with 2 plates.
Oh my god,
that's actually insane. Yeah, bro. Can we take a quick, subsection to talk about how bad Warzone 2 was? Like,
bro, people were so quick to jump on this game.
Dog, we did that for 2 years. They don't remember, bro.
That shit was horrible.
Bro, okay. I'm just gonna real quick do a little speed run here. 2 plates off default, right? Cannot run and plate. You had to fucking walk. You were literally,
that was crazy.
Crawling while plating. Right? Insane fucking weapon sway, insane visual recoil, What else, fellas? Bots,
AI, bro.
AI.
That crashed the map.
AI that was better than the actual 90% of the player population.
I saw that vivid clip of Evan getting slammed by AI, bro.
I was doing a solo
holy,
nuke.
He got smoked.
I was doing a solo nuke and I opened a like a stronghold and I died instantly. Like trying to just get my loadout. Died
Oh my
instantly.
God, bro, you no loadouts. You couldn't cancel reloads. Oh my God.
That's also the game that implemented the vehicle mechanics.
Yes.
And chalk the other one.
Oh my
Realistic.
God, all the
Realistic.
vehicles
Yes,
are-
those
bro.
were horrible, bro.
All the
Our vehicles
UI.
now are still
better.
bad.
It's just you got to get used to the controlling now. It's more like
They're
the
better
Halo
now than
style.
they were, but they're not Warzone. They're not.
They're not even close.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So
The
side note.
helicopter is infinitely better though. Right
Yeah,
now.
it
That's just
is,
actually
it
good.
is.
2v2
Yeah.
gulag. Oh my
I
God,
was-
bro.
'cause I went to
Two
test
two
it-
gulag. Yep.
I went to go test
jailer.
Thunder for my Perk video, and I was like, "Holy shit! The helicopter is insane!" Like
Yeah,
they
it's
were able to
crazy.
do some maneuvers. I was like, "Okay."
You know what's crazy? One of my most viewed TikToks though is the 2v2 gulag.
I got like
2 million views on this and everybody's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's trash.
Yeah, bro. 6-month RPK meta. The list goes on. I figured I just wanted to just so we're all aware that like Warzone 2 was way worse.
Well, we forgot. You remember you couldn't get loadout at the start?
Yeah. No loadouts.
Yeah, you had to wait
No
till zone
loadouts.
2
It was
or
using
something.
Prelude, bro. Like
You
it
had
was
to
always
do what is it called? What the hell are those? Stronghold?
strongholds. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Dude.
That was
dog.
crazy.
Dog, again, Warzone 2 was if we got through that, we can get through anything, right? This is definitely nowhere near that shit. Fuck yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next thing, fellas. And so we went over stims. One of the updates that happened a little bit before that was this, bro, and I'll bring it up here. And this was the reduce the minimum sprint time required to perform the following actions: dive to prone or slide. That is quite simply. If you guys saw the video by T Captain,
Yeah.
you had to pretty much build up momentum before you could slide or dive before. In Modern Warfare 3, you didn't have to do that. All you had to do is just go, like run, and then dive. Like that's literally it. That's all you had to do. In this game, there was a pretty big delay. When you could do that, now they removed that. And honestly, bro, I'll say this. Diaz, right? For those, anyone at home, Diaz Biffle, this guy to gas this up, that man hates the world, right? Let me tell you, that man, grumpiest guy I've ever met in my life, right? And he said, this actually feels so fluid. This actually feels actually insane. For him to say that, I was like, whoa, oh shit. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, so
That was one of my biggest frustrations. I think playing Warzone, like the Black Ops 6 version, because it's so important. Like diving is such a huge thing. That's like probably the one good thing that Warzone 2 gave us was the dive mechanic. And it's so important to be able to dive because you can go building to building and stuff. And they intentionally like build the maps. I know Urzikstan, there's some spots where if you can't dive and pull your chute, you can't get to the top of a building. So the fact that like it was sometimes impossible now to like pull your chute and dive, it just kind of ruined like the flow of some maps. So I actually haven't tried this since. I mean, if you're saying it's pretty good, like the delay of between,
Well,
if
you
you're
haven't
like standing still.
You haven't tried this yet?
Well, I haven't been like standing still yet and tried
Oh.
that. Yeah. So, but what's like the delay? Like if you're standing perfectly still, you have to like get a little bit of sprint before you can dive, or is it like you can sprint right off your dive or
From
right off the static?
From what I recall, I mean, okay, Modern Warfare 3, how was it? Could you just
You
click
could be
L,
like-
L3?
You could be immediately.
Yeah, you could literally be
much
standing
immediate.
still and dive. Like you didn't have to move at all. You could literally be standing like this.
I actually got to test that. I tried.
I switched away from hybrid, so it's not immediately anyways. So it wasn't impacting me.
I don't
before
know
the
if you could
update and not after.
I don't know if you could stand still and dive.
yeah, I don't think
know,
you could.
like,
I don't know if you could stand still.
if you're on the edge of a building and you are playing hybrid, you could die. You don't have to like
Yeah.
run 5 feet then dive. You can run
Yeah,
and
as
dive.
long as it's not crazy. Because like I said,
I'm pretty
like,
sure it's as soon as you engage your tac sprint. So as soon as your gun comes up, you can make any of that.
the flow of the map is just like it's so much better. Like this is why, I mean, we'll probably get into it too. Like just multiplayer versus Warzone, like this mechanic is just so important for Warzone specifically, like being able to dive as fast as you can because you need to pull your chute to get building to building. Whereas like multiplayer, it doesn't really matter all that much. Obviously, like diving is what it is. But anyways,
Yeah. Again, I don't know. Like now that I tested it, you think about it, I don't recall. I remember I got in the game and I was like, okay, let me try this shit. And immediately, like jumping from building to building, I was like, oh my God, I can actually jump from building to building.
Right.
But if you're saying in Modern Warfare 3, you could be standing still, hold your left stick, and then click R3 or
Yeah.
circle, whatever, and then you could dive. Then I got to test that out today. I want to see, you know. But
let me see. Yeah, I'll find the video of TCAP and I'll send it to you. But
this
continue.
is significantly better. And I think for me, if there was anything that I thought would not be addressed in 5 months, it was going to be this. I thought this was going to take 6 months and possibly never fix, because in Sledgehammer last year, the delay to slide canceling is still there right now. People just got used to it. The delay is still there. During the beta weekend 2, we talked about it. Even in COD Next, we told them, hey, you guys have to take this off. It adds clunkiness. It's still there. People just stopped complaining about it and people got used to it. All right. So, we'll see this. And then the second bullet here is fix an issue that could result in being unable to sprint when performing several actions within a short amount of time. Fellas, I pointed this out. I'm not going to take any credit, but I posted a video about this. And if you change directions with your left stick too much, it forced you into a walk. So
it was like a fatigue mechanic.
Yeah. So it was a bug. And so that was fixed. But yeah, I mean, right now, what do you guys think about the movement overall in general today? What is it, Friday? What's y'all's opinions on it? Do you guys like it? Do you guys,
I think it's personally fine right now.
Yep.
besides the mantling and the slow reloads, weapon swaps, those three things are probably like the top of it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, EBatez, talk to me.
I'm sorry, I was a little distracted. Ready? Go ahead. I was a little distracted looking at the TCAP thing. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the movement is in a really good spot. But it still feels like there are certain things that like didn't come forward with the movement. And one is reloading because it slows the pace of the game way down. The game is very fast paced in my opinion. Reloading, you're like moving, then you get a reload. You're like, fuck, like, then you get going again. You know what I mean? And then mantling, it's to the point where you don't want to mantle in a fight. You have to limit yourself where you're going to jump. Like on Area 99, you have like the little tunnels and like the divots.
You need the directional indicator, making sure they're not looking at you.
Yeah. So like the tunnels where if you go and there's someone above you in Warzone 3, you could jump up, and if you were good enough, you could jump up and kill that person. This game, you're dead. If you get caught mantling, you are dead. So that needs adjusted. And then I think the big thing that isn't talked about enough, some people talked about it, JGOD talked about it, Metaphors talked about it, is the difference of gameplay when you have dexterity equipped and you don't. In this game, it's not a big enough difference. It should be
it's the perks.
That perk should be something that is so drastic that you got to know, like on the big map in Warzone 3, if you didn't have Mountaineer on, you were breaking your legs.
Oh yeah.
If you have it on, you're chilling. So it needs to be that drastic. And like JGOD said, I don't know if that's a bug to where dexterity is not working correctly, making the movement that much different, and Mountaineer that much different, or it's intended. That would be nice to know if they are intending for it to be that big. I feel like
it could have been an accident on the actual Mountaineer side. Like, it's only a 10% difference. Maybe it's supposed to be 100%.
Right.
Because that's what it was previously.
Yeah, it was like double the distance almost. Yeah.
Maybe an extra.
So we need to know like if that's going to change or if that's a bug.
The dexterity portion of it is, it's basically not noticeable in terms of the sway. I mean, you could slow it down, do the crosshair thing side by side. It's negligible, the difference between on and off. And even less so on controller, because obviously aim assist factors into that. I know I've talked to Metaphor a little bit about it, because he said that you can notice it as a keyboard and mouse player, which for me, I couldn't tell the difference. Like, I'll pick it up off the floor and I'll be like, cool, I have an extra perk that doesn't do anything.
I switched off of it today and used something different.
Survivor.
I'm either using Survivor or Scavenger. I'm
using Scavenger. Because Scavenger is OP. Those of you guys that know what Scavenger does.
Fire.
That's a little trick. That's a little trick. I'm not going to tell you guys about that. But yes,
the plays,
Scavenger's big for Area 99. Yeah.
Yep. Being just aggressive. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's just crazy. Bro,
Scavenger's good.
When they fix dexterity, dude, Survivor dexterity tempered is about to go crazy. That combo is going to be nuts.
I also think they need to do a little bit of balancing, because Perk 1, like in general, even though we're looking like at Scavenger and Survivor, they're both kind of like trash as a category. Like the category itself isn't particularly good. I know we're missing a couple perks. Perk 2, also kind of trash. Quick fix doesn't work properly. Even when you play it, it's not filling up.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of issues. Then Perk 3, like goated. You're like, you can pick them at random, and it's like
they're all insane.
This is what it is. Yeah, just use whatever.
Good at something. Yeah.
I will say the one-handed plating with quick fix is really, really good. Once you get used to it, it's very strong. Like being able to like shoot your gun while like kind of, finishing your plating and stuff.
I don't like how the difference in timing it is. Like when you don't have it on.
Slower to one.
Yes, that's what I don't like about it. I think it should be an upgrade. If you choose to use that, it should be the same duration it
It's
is,
slower. Yeah.
yeah, it shouldn't be slower. You shouldn't be hindered because you.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Oh, it's
Is it
slower?
slower?
Way
Like a half
slower.
second. I did
Oh,
comparison
dude.
on that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Versus like tempered is only 2 plates. So that one only takes about 3 seconds.
Yeah. So like you guys know when you have 3 plates and you you fight somebody, you get your plates knocked off, you go and you put 2 plates on, you cancel the plating animation to reach out somebody. I don't know if it's because I have apply all on or what, but you cannot do that on quick fix because you have to
melee.
You can that answers the question.
I think you have to melee.
That answers the
I'm
question.
not 100% sure.
Because on quick fix, you just shoot. Like when you go to reach out, you're just going to shoot and your guy's going to continue to put a plate on.
I think
and you can't ADS.
You were able to Y out of it.
That's what I would do. I would reload
Yeah.
or
Your
YY.
weapons.
Yeah.
But if you melee, it doesn't do the melee animation and it should cancel the
Right.
animation and
Okay.
pull out the gun you had while you're
Right.
plating because obviously it's one hand. Yeah.
Yeah. I do
I
like
also-
the one-handed
I'm not
plating. That's
100%
cool.
sure
but-
because I'm not using quick fix.
Yeah, I think it's
I just
something
think it
that they
should
can
be quicker.
improve on. It's definitely
Agreed.
something they can improve on. But I also will say the like the weapon swap in this game is super clunky and like weird. YYing is just awkward. And like I don't know, I just don't like it. It feels like it feels too much like Cold War, like where it's like it's too Cold War, not like Warzone though. Like I said, again, try to separate like the Warzone from like multiplayer. It just feels too like clunky and like I don't know. Warzone especially, we're going to be shooting your gun a lot more. Like secondary guns are super, super important. So being able to like, use a full 40 round or 50 round clip and having to switch to your secondary, whether it's a pistol or another overkill SMG or something is super, super important. So hopefully the weapon swap gets a little bit faster. And I think default perks in general are like, even if they just added like the quick gloves, like again, the mantling is so inconsistent in this game. If they could add something like that before Verdansk, hopefully soon, that would be great. But I think it just would improve the quality of the game so much more. And again, I know they want to do the whole 1-to-1 multiplayer to Warzone, but I'm so against that. And I mean, I'm for it in some ways, but against it in others.
And I'll say part of that has to do with that multiplayer. A lot of these things aren't issues. There's not a lot of things you're going to mantle over.
Right.
That impact this, so it's not an issue. Generally, you're only going to use your primary weapon and maybe pull out your pistol if you run out of ammo or something like that. It's a little bit more niche scenarios that you're going to actually, it just doesn't happen in multiplayer.
Right.
But these things are like definitely problems in Warzone that are just part of how the game is played differently.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that's a big discussion. I do want to save that for the end because I want everybody, even in chat's opinion on this, because I do feel like that's a pretty big subject. Like, yo, should Warzone continue to do this where they start from zero every single year, or should Warzone be completely separate? And yes, maybe every year they bring in the new guns, right? That stays the same, but does every year, if they change the movement, do we keep that? Does Warzone have its own? We'll get into it. We'll get into
I'm
it.
about to yap, yeah.
Yeah,
Whenever we
because
get
that one's
there,
going to be a
I'm
good one.
yapping.
That one's going to be a good section. But yeah, so I'll quickly go over that day, another patch note that they did. And that one was reload times for Black Ops 6 assault rifles and light machine guns. They were reduced by 10%. Now, it says we're taking passes at improving the flow and reduce downtime between gunfights. Future updates will address other classes. I'll add that it says here, we're taking passes at it, right? I hope that 10% can be adjusted. I hope it's not. I hope they can make that faster, because even then, in my opinion, this doesn't feel like your default perks of what was it last year.
Yeah.
Right? Like this feels still too slow. Thoughts, boys? What do you guys think?
Well, I think we already talked a little bit about it. It does scale based off the other stuff. Looks like they didn't want to overdo it, because then obviously you have yourself set up for backlash. If you overdo it, then you're like, you know what, we broke it, so we need to reduce it. I think it's fine. They'll just keep tuning it. Hopefully they're aggressive with it. I think the nice part about this year is that the integration happened like a month earlier than it would have. So we ended up with a really good scenario where we're already 2 weeks in. We've already had like 5 updates.
Yeah.
And by this time, it would already been Christmas almost. Like,
Right.
realistically, we're barely heading in Thanksgiving next week, and there's still like 3 or 4 weeks of the game that they could work on before they get probably the holiday break.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that changes. There's a bunch of small fixes that they could probably do, and a few that they probably have to wait for title updates. We know that we'll probably have a bigger update on the 5th because they just announced that Zombies map is coming out on that day, which normally they're going to have a big patch the day before that we can early download.
That'll be season 1.5 then.
Live. It'll be season 1.2 or like 1.3 or something.
Oh,
because I
is
think
that
we have
not
another
reloaded?
The season's too long. I think we're gonna have 2 reloaded. I think the season's gonna be done in thirds or something like that.
Oh, what the fuck?
Mm.
Because it's too short. We're not gonna go 6 weeks, 7 weeks without an update.
Wait, so season 1.5 is not when that thing drops?
I think it's like, I think it's going to be like it's broken into thirds. I think they mentioned somewhere previously. Someone might go. I don't know.
Okay, if that,
I thought that's when we would get the reloaded.
yeah,
I thought it was early too, though. I thought it was really early,
It's
though.
super early.
Aren't seasons normally like what? They're like 10 weeks or 12? No, they're like
About 70
aren't
days or so.
Aren't they like 2 months? So like it's every four, like it's the update, 4 weeks, season 1.5, 4 weeks, season 2.
Yeah, but I think the season, if you actually get the end date, somebody will know.
Charlie Intel said the new Zombies map and season 1 reloaded in Black Ops 6 arrives December 5th. Exact words. So, I mean, I guess.
Yeah,
But I think it's early
there
too.
will be another update.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're saying before we get season 2.
Yes,
Yeah.
So
in January sometime.
there's
'Cause I
ranked.
don't think season 2 starts till yeah, because rank's not coming out on the 5th.
That's what I was gonna say. Is it coming out on the 5th?
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, is rank
No.
coming out
I mean,
the 5th?
It's supposed to be
No.
January something, and so that's what I mean. There's supposed to be like a double, like
Oh.
Wait,
double
really?
season or something.
yeah, we're not
thought-
getting ranked December 6th.
I thought we get ranked.
Yeah, see, the season ends on January 28th. So they're gonna go from the 5th all the way to the 28th of the next month. That doesn't make sense.
It'll probably be like mid-December, no? Isn't it like it's gonna be like the 16th or 17th or something?
I don't know.
You're talking about for ranked?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought rank was gonna come out season 1.5, and season 1.5 is
That's what I thought.
the 6th.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It's like thirds. Like
No,
1.3
1.5 is not.
1.6.
Yeah. 1.5 is not on the 6th, is what he's saying. It's too early. So like,
Oh shit.
yeah, it's like 1.25 or something. So I think it'll probably come out mid-December, like right before Christmas.
Maybe. I don't know. Either way, up to January 28th is kind of a long season. We don't know. They'll roll it out. Whatever. We're getting updates. It's all good.
That's like
Okay.
2. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It's like 2.5 months ish.
This
Of
is
the
actually, I'm actually curious now what that means. Okay, all right. Well, I didn't know that.
I wish I could find it, but I don't have the. I mean, obviously can't find it that quick. What I'm talking about.
Right,
when I read the thing.
right. Okay, all right. Well, we might get multiple mid-seasons then this year. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But continuing on, one of the other things that was changed, again, big thing that people were complaining about is deployable box interaction speeds. So they removed an unintentional delay that previously prevented players from interacting with armor munition box, utility box when initially deployed. Fellas,
Still slow.
is it slow? Okay, what happened? So somebody said that it's slow. It's fast to throw, but it's slow to pick up.
Yeah, it's still the same animation on the second half, which is where you have to wait for the box to open. And
Yeah, you want to be able to interact earlier.
Yeah. No, it's
That's what you want.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It
Seems
seems
like
like what they
there's-
had in MW3. It was fine.
Right.
Like-
It's in, and another thing, like, which people don't really use them very much, but DCs, deployable covers, are the same way, in my opinion. In MW3, it was almost like you had like amped on your DC. Like you got the DC down to where you could get up and you could head glitch it. In this game, it's like,
Yeah,
all right, let me
it's
pull it
super slow.
out. And you're like,
I agree.
you know what I mean? I think that's another one that needs looked at as well. The DC needs like sped up.
I think it's like the
2x.
quick gloves. I think it's quick gloves.
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
think that's what call. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's
Damn.
got to be it.
damn.
I will
Damn.
say a cool little quality of life thing, which it's minor, but it's cool. You can now pick up deployable covers and I think trophy systems if you want to like redeploy them somewhere else, which is
Yeah.
pretty sick.
Oh, really?
So if you put a DC down, you can pick it up and put it over here.
Yeah.
Wait, that's fire.
Which
is cool.
Yeah, you never were able to do that.
Okay.
It's really fire.
All right. So okay, and then the last thing. I mean, that's pretty much all the changes that's happened, and then obviously they reintroduced Rebirth, which we all know. Like, how is it now? I mean, you said you haven't played it, right, Ryda?
I'll play it.
I heard that
I
the
feel like it
lighting
was
is still
better.
ass.
The lighting,
Yeah.
I think, in certain areas is weird. Mainly if an operator is all dark, but in general, I think it's not terrible. They did change it a little bit. I don't know. It could still be better.
Okay.
It just feels like they're, again, it's kind of like an Urzikstan situation where they're forcing an old map on a new game and there's bound to be bugs.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I okay. So moving on then to the next thing is, what do you guys think? And right now, right, everything that they've done in the last week, that's what, like 4 or 5 changes. So movement delays gone, reload speed sped up, still needs work. Munitions armor box sped up, needs work. Audio improved. Bullet reg, bro, this is a big one. Let's talk about this. What I don't know if y'all have seen Mutex's tweet. What's the deal with that? I know JGOD and EBatez, you guys talked about it in the group chat. Is there some type of bullet reg issue where hit
It's just
markers
the
are
network
counting?
having issues.
What about the whole
Because
headshot thing?
Hey,
I
JGOD,
think it's just a visual bug.
So for those who don't know, so apparently what Mutex posted a video saying that like if you get,
It's hard to tell from his video though because his camera is covering the hit marker.
There's certain hit markers that will like either it's a headshot hit marker or a normal hit marker, which I didn't even know about. I don't know if any of you guys that's a real thing, right?
Yeah, it's double.
But
It's a
even
double.
in his clip, some of them look like triple hit markers. Like that shit is bugged the hell. It's like 3 hit markers are registering at once.
Which there's obviously something bigger going on because again, I think a lot of people have expressed, I don't think people are crazy. They're not just like, oh, I feel this weird desync bullet reg. Like they're not just like, you know, in their head placebo, but so obviously something's going on with the bullet reg stuff. And I feel like this, I mean, there could be a step in the right direction. Mutex's tweet of him like kind of talking about the headshot hit markers looking like they're like doubling or, you know, he's getting shot in the toes and it looks like it's double maybe because it just, at some point it feels like you're literally getting sniped. It feels like sometimes when you die because there's some kind of desync or it's the game's catching up. So when you're getting shot by like an SMG or something, it just all hits you at once and you just die and you're like, dude, did I just
so
get
the kill
sniped?
cams are obviously kill cams aren't accurately displaying what happened. They're just a recreation, almost like if you went into theater mode and like it doesn't it looks jank. Obviously you can't do theater mode for Warzone, but if you do multiplayer theater mode, it's always been a little bit more jank than the actual gameplay because it's kind of trying to recreate the clip. And a lot of times what happens is if there's the 2 players, right? And then you have lag compensation, you have their overall latencies, you have the actions that they're doing, you have their ISP connect, like there's so many variables to the network code. I know popular recently is the 20 hertz tick rate, which Warzone has always had, but Warzone has never had these issues. Even on target standing still, you're going to have desync in this game for some reason. It's just busted all to hell. They'll figure it out. They got to put the money into it. But there's like 10 different things for the network where it's trying to solve this. Modern Warfare 2019, they actually put out a video about this when the game first came out, talking about the way that they try to solve these issues. Obviously, when you extrapolate it to Battle Royale, it's going to work differently. You have 150 players initially in Warzone, down to 120, and then even in the Resurgence modes, now you're at 45, 60 if Vondo or whatever, 70 if Vondo comes back. But it's kind of like one of those things where they just got to figure it out. It's been the worst it's been. I don't think it's due to Omni movement, and I don't think it's just, there's issues. Even in multiplayer, there's a lot of desync issues, and that's at 60 hertz.
Right.
So I don't think that's related to, there's other issues going on that they need to solve.
I think to pointing to that, like there obviously is issues. You guys remember when they showed us and they've came out with like the topic where in this game, there's actually different damage values for like your feet, your knee, like your legs, your arms. I think that has to have something to do with it because we've never, ever had this issue.
It's bad. It's bad.
And it's in multiplayer as well. Like
a lot
you
of the
said,
damage
JGOD,
profiles though are not really different. The main thing that they were talking about when they specified the hitboxes for each body part, it was the death animation. So when your body slumps over, it reacts differently. If you got shot in the stomach, you might fall a certain way. If you got shot in the leg, if you get blown up.
That's like the only thing that like that. And then what I've noticed is, I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was Cold War. You would shoot people with a sniper and you would see blood splatter, but you wouldn't get a hit marker or a kill. That's in this game as well. That was not in Warzone 3, and that is in this game.
I see
happens
put out
so
a tweet.
much.
There's a lot of desync with that. Like the desync's been in Warzone forever, but sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse. There's the most common ones are the clips where you run somebody over with a car.
Yeah,
the splat,
those are crazy.
You're like, what the hell? They just skipped over. Then fortunately enough, when we've had these tournaments, I know I clipped one together with Tommy running somebody
Symphony.
else over.
I think it was Symphony Tommy. Yes, I know.
And
you're
it was
talking about.
like he wasn't even near the car. So obviously, on one player's side, they got to respect that he didn't get run over, and then the other one, he ran him over.
Yeah.
But like, there's a big enough desync in that instance that shows dramatically how bad it is.
Yeah.
And it's always been this way to a certain extent, and they tend to dial it in, and then they fuck it up sometimes. I don't know. It just is what it is. They'll get it figured out.
Do you think that they will figure this out? Do you think this is one of those things where like, they're gonna find a way to fix this?
They have to.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, dude, the first day that I played, it happened to me like the desync. I think was way worse. Like I was dying around corners, around, dude. Like you would like slide out and then come back and you would just die. I think it's gotten better. I don't think it's where it should be, but
I also don't know if this is just on my end. Maybe it feels weird. But like I feel like the hit marker when you do get hit, they moved it. Now it's further to the edge of the screen. I feel like it's not like it's it felt like it was closer to your crosshairs before. You know, when you get hit markered and it'll be red or blue. Now that if you get hit broke armor or whatever, you get hit armor, that part before it used to be like the semicircle, like next to your hit marker.
Oh, okay.
Like where your crosshairs
it's hard to see now.
Yeah.
Now it's harder to see, so you don't realize like you're getting hit till you've gotten. Obviously, you realize you're getting hit, but you know what I mean. Like it's not.
You don't even know what direction.
Yeah. That's why I noticed it more recently, where they moved it. If you actually look at the footage, it's way closer to your crosshair, but for whatever reason, they put it towards the edge now, like much closer to the edge, where it's not like where it's supposed to be, where you're getting hit markered.
Bro, now that you actually like see, these are the things that I don't notice because I'm like, bro, where am I fucking getting shot by, bro? I don't like in my brain, something's off that I don't know where I'm getting shot from anymore. Yeah. And I never realized why.
I think the radius is wider than what it used to be, which is why your eyes have to move a lot more in order to like understand where you're actually getting shot from.
And these are subtle things that didn't need changing. That didn't need to change. Like, and maybe they're not even aware that that's like an issue, but like you said, you didn't even really notice until you notice, right? It's one of those things.
Like you don't notice till it's gone, till it's fucking gone. By the way, the UI, dude, I had to reduce the opacity of the score because that shit was blocking everything. I don't know about if you guys did that or not, but I did that.
No, I should though.
Yeah, I reduced the
opacity. When I only get 7 kills a match, I don't gotta worry about it. And my teammates die, and then I die, and that's it. Dude. It's a rip. GG's.
So look, fellas, I guess here's a question for you guys before we kind of move on to the next thing. 2 things. It's what are what are the big things? There's 5, 3, 10, whatever it is, right? And I guess we'll go one by one. Is what do you guys feel like needs to change right now for this game to be considered good again? Right? I think it's good, right? I think we all agreed that this game is pretty good right now. But what do you guys think needs to happen for this game to be in a way better? Like, what are the big issues now that they've addressed certain things, right? Like,
I think there needs to be fixing the stuff that doesn't work the way we expect it to work. So like your loadouts, it's just so inconvenient when you're trying to change your loadout. For example, if you have an 8 attachment gun and then you want to put on overkill, it's like you have to go and equip the 5 attachment one, and then you have to swap the gun to the other thing. Yeah, it's just a pain in the ass. Why is it that hard? Like, just make it easy, right? I'm glad they simplified a lot of the attachments. I like all that. But there's just things that don't work the way they should. And they're basic. Like, you just play the game for 5 minutes and it's like, why the fuck is this so buggy? And it just is what it is.
Yeah, I think the number one thing for me is it's just got to be server stability and bullet reg. Like, I think that those are the
that's what's left,
so important. So important to like how much we can actually enjoy the game. And if we don't have decent servers, and I've talked about this, if you can't play the game how it's supposed to be played, there's no point. If you're not able to actually play the game how it's intended and designed to be played, there's no point. The game's not how they intended. So I think
also it's like, why change shit? Like on Rebirth, I know you haven't played it, but they removed the ammunition boxes from the spots they were in.
Yeah, that's weird.
I didn't know that either.
Like why? Like why?
Wait, really?
Who's complaining about the one at control? It's like, all right, cool.
Makes the map
part
flow.
of my route. Like,
it
what
plays
the
like
hell?
that for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, like what the hell?
The one thing that they changed that I don't know why they changed is the gas mask.
Oh yes,
I don't know.
It's supposed to just
gas
drop.
mask and the gas. An area.
Yeah, in the gas. Yeah, I
don't go in there.
I don't know why that. Like we had the gas mask in a good spot, then we just went back to where you just fucking rip it off. I don't. I don't know why. And then like the thing about the loadouts, like JGOD said, one of the loadout grabs things that I want to grab about is that when you favorite a loadout, it doesn't go to the top. So if your first class is the GPR and the PP, let's say you want to like make a sniper in your 4th loadout. So you go down, you don't want to change your GPR and your PP. You go down and you change to a sniper in your 4th class. If you favorite it, when you go hit the loadout in the game, it's your favorite, but it doesn't go to the top and take priority. You got to scroll down to your 4th one. You're getting shot in the ass. You know what I mean? That should be a simplistic thing that when you favorite it, that's your go-to loadout. That should be the loadout that comes out of the box in the game when you find a loadout crate. And then one big thing I really want to gripe about as well. I know I'm griping, but one big thing is, and this is bullshit in my opinion. This is the one thing that's really pissing me off with the game. If you pay extra to get a blueprint, you should be able to use the blueprint. It should not be fucked up whenever you build your gun. Dude, they've been fucked up since the game dropped. There's people that pay for the Vault Edition. They pay for that edition for a reason. They can't even use the Jackal. They've been trying. They still can't fucking use it because it puts a scope on it, or it takes the attachment off, or I went.
Things not working the way they're supposed to.
Yeah, like I went 10 prestiges to not be able to use a dope ass MP5 blueprint. Still can't use it. I still can't use it. Like it's the same thing with like I want to be able to use the blueprints that I worked for or I paid for. That should be something that should be fixed immediately. That's got to be fixed, bro.
Dude, there is a lot. That's the thing that sucks, man. Is there's so many little things wrong, but like I feel like we're so damn close, bro. Like we're right there. You know what I'm saying? Like we're right there.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. The quality of life things that they need to fix, like Ryda's talked about the blueprints, mantling, like little things like that would make a huge drastic change. But I really do think the servers got to get better at some point.
Yeah.
And I'm scared for the whole cheating issue, bro. After seeing multiplayer ranked yesterday, that is so bad. There's people spin botting on CDL pros and there's nothing getting like, bro, I saw Joe die to a cheater and then I saw, I think Ghosty posted about it the next day.
It's just insanity.
Joe replied,
It was like, he's not banned?
Yeah, Joe said, that fucker's still not banned.
Well, you know what's crazy is like, obviously their end needs to be way better, but like, think of it that the person has to own the game, whether they do it through Game Pass or whatever, shared account, whatever, and then they have to win 50 multiplayer matches without cheating, because then obviously they'll get detected much sooner. And then they have to go through the ranks to get in the same rank as the whatever, and then they utilize the cheats like to basically stream snipe these cheaters, like not the cheaters, but the people that are in the high. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Like that's what those people are willing to do, and then they get banned if or when. Then it's like they got to go through it again. Like,
well, the thing with Rebirth or the thing with Warzone now with hackers is you don't get to spectate who killed you. So that makes it even worse.
So
Even
weird.
worse.
That makes it even worse.
How is the reporting system even going to work now?
I got hacked on today. Got to send him one report, and that was it. Hope he got banned. I couldn't spectate him. I tried to, and I'm spectating like Gimme Bob 73.
That's gotta be a
Until
winner.
the end of the match,
Or
right?
not winner circle, but that's like what's that like little outro that like when you die you get
Loser
it's like
circle.
loser circle, I guess. Yeah. You get put in that loser circle, and then if you hit spectate, you just spectate somebody random.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, look, bro. Like, I think that's a big issue, right? Like, it's like cheating in general. It's like, bro, we can fix all this shit in the game, but doesn't matter if there's fucking cheaters ruining every single one. And I'll be honest, bro. I went through every fucking list of things recently, like of all the people complaining, and brother, this was actually fucking insane. Like, I did, like, okay, do you guys think it's as bad as fucking Verdansk? Because I've never seen people complain this much.
Worse. It's worse.
The cheaters?
Coming from somebody that played Resurgence ranked, it is the worst it's ever
Well,
been.
rank
dude,
is
don't
always
even
gonna
be
have
standing
its
on-
own-
Not even
What about
close.
for pubs though? For pubs.
I mean, bro,
Been fine.
Pubs, I feel like haven't been that bad.
But multiplayer scares me for what we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm telling you guys right now.
last season for Rebirth rank was fucking miserable. Me
It's
and
the worst
Ryda-
it's ever
Ryda
been.
knows. Me and him we were
Worst
playing
it's ever
together.
been.
Oh
The
my
worst it's
god,
ever
we're
been.
like, there he is. Aim button, level 12. Run, go to camp, go to the other side of the map. Like we were, dude. Rebirth rank last season was miserable.
But
Every
what
game.
can they do? Like, what is there? Like, honestly, what is actually
No
possible?
clue.
Like, because
I don't
bro,
know. I'm not I'm not. I mean, to be honest, all the events we've ever gone to, we've never even talked to one person that is in direct connection with Ricochet.
Well, that's what people ask whenever, like, from
They don't
COD Next.
exist
People,
in anywhere in our bubble.
people got
they're
back. They were
private.
like, "What they say about hacking? What they say about the anti-cheat?" I'm like, "We didn't talk about it. I don't know. I really don't
They're
know."
like SEAL Team 6, bro. You won't hear.
I
from
ain't
them,
bringing
you
it
won't
up.
See them? It's nothing. and it's not even a point to ask somebody. It's like if you go to the grocery store and you're asking about plumbing to the cashier, it just doesn't make sense. When
Yeah,
you go to
I
these
don't-
like the dev works on their game. Ricochet's doing their own thing or nothing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the hell they do.
Again.
But it's just
they are the
it
most
just doesn't
secret. I'll
work.
tell you right now, Ricochet is the most secretive. Like, there's nobody, like you. There's no one to talk to. I'm telling you right now. Hey, if it didn't exist, I would be like,
Bro.
damn. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going on LinkedIn and I'm typing in Ricochet Activision. So I'm finding out who runs
Gotta
this
find
shit.
these people.
Anyways, again, adding to the point, like cheaters, like servers, and just like stuff that's like super important for like the fluidity of the game and actually how the game's supposed to be intendedly played. That stuff matters, man. And again, we could have all the quality of life changes, everything, but if those things don't get fixed, it's always going to be a bad game. It's always going to be a bad game if we don't have like the core of just a good servers and the cheater issue. If we don't have those things, I don't know. Me personally, I'm
Or
just
at least like maintained. Like you see like Fortnite pros, Apex pros talk about it. There's Apex streamers talk about like the hacking's bad. We're gonna have hackers, and no matter what, at the end of the day, for everybody watching, people are going to hack. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They will always hack. It'll always be a thing. It's always been a thing. It's gotten worse. There will always be hackers, but it has to get to a point where it's held to a minimum. You know what I mean? Or it's at least has a cap on it to where like like it can get worse. And I understand like the Valorant anti-cheat was too invasive or this, that, or whatever. When it gets to a point where you can't play the game or you get hacked on, then it's a problem. It's a serious
people got
problem.
to be like somewhat worried about cheating. I think that's the problem is people are like, I'm just going to hack. And if I get banned, I'll make a new account. And there's no like, there's no, I don't know. There's no
repercussions.
Like, repercussions. Yeah, exactly. It's just, I'm just going to hack until I get caught. And if I get caught, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. People don't get scared. Like, you know, it's just, I don't know.
Okay, I made a tweet today and I was asking people, I was like, yo, like, isn't Mr. Rick O'Shea supposed to be like a kernel level anti-cheat, right? I would say Rick ain't doing his job lately, man. I'm almost say like kernel level, right? And I don't even know what the fuck that means, but I just know it's supposed to be like insane, right? But apparently from what I got from people that are way smarter than me, is that Call of Duty's anti-cheat starts whenever the game starts up, right? The difference with the best, and I actually did a video on this, and so I researched a little bit.
The Vanguard one, yeah.
The best anti-cheat right now in the game is Valorant's anti-cheat. They have like statistically, it's the best, right? And theirs starts up as soon as Windows launches. So as soon as you turn on your PC, as soon as Windows launches, their anti-cheat is already going, and it's like scanning your PC or whatever.
And I think when you download the game the first time, you have to restart your game. Like you have to restart your system so it loads with it.
So if you back out of the game and like if you like close your game, you have to relaunch your PC. You can't play the game unless you relaunch it because it has to start up with your PC. So something that's that crazy, and that statistically, right? I was looking at studies, is the best anti-cheat. For Call of Duty, it's not like that. It only activates the anti-cheat whenever the game is actually booted up. But even then, why is there a manual report system if the anti-cheat was actually working?
Yeah.
Right. Why is it even a thing?
Another issue I was kind of thinking of while we were like sitting here. So the whole loser circle thing, like when you die in Area 99 and you spectate somebody random, you could die to a hacker or a casual could die to somebody. And then they're like, oh, let me go spectate this guy. And then if they spectate somebody random, now random people are getting reported. Oh, yeah. Which could also, lead to false shadow bans because people are like, oh, I just died to a hacker. Let me spectate him. They're like, yeah, it's this guy. And then they're just reporting random people now.
Hey man, again, I don't know what needs to happen, but I genuinely think if it was up to me, I don't even know invasive like what that like fuck it, bro. Do the Valorant anti-cheat. Like load that bitch up, bro. Like put that into COD, whatever we need to do because this is getting bad. And I'm being honest. Go look at Fortnite. Clicks just tweeted about how their
leaderboards for the tournaments. Yeah.
Apex, brother, Apex. There was a cheater in the lobby giving people cheats. Like
it's insane.
Literally, guys, giving Imperial Hal cheats. How
he's
that's
like, I'm hacking.
He's like, bro, I'm hacking. He's like, no, I'm literally hacking, fellas. Like, bro, like I've gotten to the point where in my brain, I'm not even trolling. In my brain, I'm like, cheating will never be fixed. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Like, and it's not. Yeah. I can go play Fortnite. I can go play any other game. And for right now, the only game that I see to be doing a really good job at this is Valorant. That's the only one.
Yep.
But as of right now, I've in my brain, I've accepted the fact that if I'm going to be a Call of Duty creator, and so I'm gonna do, if I get cheated on,
part of it.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do nothing about it. They ain't gonna do nothing about it. You can't. Who am I gonna hit up? Who am I gonna give feedback to? Don't give a fuck.
Multiplayer ranked, they made it so you had to win 50 games in order to be able to like play. Yeah.
EBatez, imagine how easy it is for them to win 50 fucking games.
They said they played the playlist. That one playlist, that the little small map playlist. Well, the small map playlist, they said they just go play that and they get it done in like an hour and they go hack. Yeah, I don't know.
You can win 50 games in an hour?
Well, no, because people are like, well, they implemented the 50 games.
Some of those last like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, is it like the stakeout map? I don't know. I don't play much multiplayer. Like they said, just go play the playlist. Yeah, you go play the strike playlist and you'll be done with it soon. Like it doesn't take that long.
I know some of them before they up the Valance, it'd be like, all right, cool. We're gonna get some headshots in this match. Like 9 kills, the match is over. Like what the fuck?
I saw
Bro.
a clip of a guy in multiplayer, like Black Ops 6. They were like, dude, you're like, why are you hacking? He's like, I'm getting my camos. And then once I got my camos, I'm done. Like, it was some
What
guy.
the frick?
Like, he was like, I'm getting my camos. I want my dark matter.
That's
funny.
actually insane, bro. Look,
Once I got my dark matter, I'm deleting it.
dude.
That's funny.
Again, it's getting to the point where like it's excessive, and I firmly believe Call of Duty, being as big as it is, they can handle this situation. I'm gonna be honest, it all comes down to whether they want to or not. Like I don't, there's, in my opinion, there's no excuse, right? Like if somebody, like a game like Valorant, which I mean has obviously they have an insane amount of resources, right? But so does Activision. They can do it too. It's just gonna be a matter of fact of whether they want to spend the money on making it or not and doing it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. So boys, that's what I have right now for the changes. Is there anything else you want to cover before I switch gears to a little bit of the competitive side of things? Or is there anything that you guys want to cover so far, or anything that you think we missed?
I think we covered a lot.
Okay.
Honestly. I mean,
yeah, lastly,
well, I guess everybody could go around and just say like, what's one thing you know, kind of want, you know, like in the next couple months at least. For me, I think it's just stable servers. That's, you know,
well, that's kind of what we did right now, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like what we did right now.
Yeah.
Like, well, I guess here, let's end this section by, which is asking the question. And chat, please get involved. YouTube comments, get involved. I want to know your guys' opinion. Do you guys think that Call of Duty should be, or sorry, Warzone should be yearly releases, and it should be a new integration every single year? Now, there can be, it doesn't have to be one way or the other, right? Right now, everything changes whenever the year comes, right? Should it continue to stay like that, where we pretty much are starting from zero? They're like, why is things like this? Why are things right? Why do we go back every year?
Warzone 2 is the reason it's like that.
Yeah, like, and so should it continue to stay like that, or should it be like Cold War integration in Warzone 1, where we got a new map, right? We got all the new guns from Cold War, but we stayed with the same movement system, and things weren't that broken. It was the same game technically with new guns, reskin, stuff. Should we completely separate Warzone from the yearly releases, right? I still think every year you should get all the new guns, right? But now, should we get the new movement system? Should we get a completely new change of all the mechanics again? Like you know, like there's a lot. It's a two-edged sword. Go ahead, Jay.
Based on what we've been told, it sounds like they plan to keep the movement the same going forward. Like for future iterations of COD.
Right.
Like Omni movement isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
They developed too much time and money into making that system. Obviously, within the 4-year life cycle that they got to work on Treyarch's Black Ops 6, that's not going anywhere.
Like, okay, hear me out. This is where I think things, it could be a double-edged sword here, right? Because imagine if somebody had this idea when Warzone 2 came out. Oh, let's let Warzone 2 be, you know, the movement system from here on out, right? Like that's, you know, and then we're stuck on that forever for Warzone when we have games like Modern Warfare 3 or Black Ops 6 that have this crazy omni movement, right? And then we're stuck on that because that's the way Warzone should feel. If they end up picking one movement system and one just default base for what they build Warzone off of, we're playing kind of the lotto and what's going to be good or not, you know? Like right now.
That's why I like new stuff. That's why I like the
big
new
difference
stuff.
is it's like we had those 3 years of bad examples, like basically. But Warzone 2 was so bad. If it was good, like let's say like everyone just loved it being the way it was, we'd still be Warzone 2 right now. Like the game would have just integrated weapons, wouldn't have had a huge overhaul. Like we wouldn't need to. But now I think the game's finally going to be in a good spot where it's simpler in terms of attachments, loadouts, lack of looting, movements going to be good all the way across the board, like for on average. So they don't really going to have to change much. Now that it's in a good spot, they'll just keep going forward. I think they took a risk with Warzone 2. It didn't pay off.
Right.
And it is what it is. They dealt with it for 2 years. Creators also had to deal with it. All the people who play the game had to deal with it to a certain extent, knowing that they would eventually overturn these issues because they're losing money, even though they're making all kinds of money. Businesses want to make more.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like it's finally back on track. It will get back on track with all these other more subtle issues and big pronounced issues like the network, but overall, I think we'll be in a good spot. And next year, it'll feel similar to like what we have now at the end of this year. And it'll just keep going and we'll get a new set of weapons. And you'll just be able to tab over. People say, oh, you have all this bloat. Like, they're not on floor loot. People can only take 1-2 weapons into the match. Like, it doesn't really contribute to much as long as the floor loot stays with the current COD.
So okay, simple. We're pretty, this is a good topic. We're pretty dead set, or things are pretty set in stone that next year we're keeping the same system, right? Because it's Treyarch again next year, right? They're going back-to-back years.
I heard it was Modern Warfare
I think it's
Infinity
Treyarch. I think it's Treyarch back-to-back.
I think it's Treyarch one more year. They have a 2-year.
Infinity Ward?
And then Infinity Ward after that.
Yeah, and then the gameplay was that basically it was the same except for you could wall bounce.
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so you can like it's like you can grab onto the wall and push off of it, like jump off of the wall.
That would be so
It's not wall running or jetpacks. It's like
but the other movements are all going to be basically the same.
Yeah. It's just a more evolved version of Omni movement. So I don't mind them like Treyarch's going another year, and as long as we don't, when new integration happens, we don't take a huge step back.
A good example of this is when we went from the regular movement, and then they added the strafe while mounted. Remember? Basically, we had mounted, and then they added strafe while mounted.
Oh my
I think
God.
that's how different the mechanic is. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, we'll be able to jump off walls.
That was insane.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But
Moving
that's
while
what I mean.
mounted.
We did have that before.
crazy.
Remember?
That
Yeah.
was crazy.
But that was a subtle change from year to year. It wasn't even that big a deal.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a standalone title, like if it just stays the way it is, I think it's great. I'm in a different boat though. I really think we should get rid of the old guns. That's my opinion.
I agree.
I
know
can't
JGOD
stand there in the
JGOD
game.
probably doesn't agree
It
with
doesn't
this.
matter. It doesn't matter. But
It does matter. I think it matters.
What's
Why?
it matter?
Why?
Well, I think keeping the old guns, you're now balancing 117
Way
different
too much.
TTKs, 130 different TTKs, rather than just focusing on the 30 that
And we get in the
you know.
situation that we're in
which
right now.
guns are you using right now?
The RAL.
Okay, well,
the
there's
RAL
a
should never
RAL.
be used.
There's a
That should
RAL,
never be
Okay,
used.
there's
and-
one
Well, the
outlier out of
Doom
177 weapons.
shotgun, the Doom
Is the bugs.
shotgun, the Core 45, all that shit should
Yeah,
never
those
like
are
even be
bugs.
an attempt.
I think
Yeah,
I think what they're
Exactly, but
saying.
that's the point. That's the point.
I think what
Yeah.
they're saying is instead of them wasting resources on trying to balance 2 years of guns, they should just scrap them and you spend those resources on balancing the current guns. I think that's what you guys are trying to say, right?
100%.
That'll never happen though,
Why?
because people paid $20 for the.
Well, that's their
blueprints.
fault.
What do you mean?
That's their fault, in my opinion. That's their fault. They should know. That's just if you.
That's how it is with multiplayer?
Yeah, I agree. You should go into
you
it
have to
knowing
buy
when
the
you
new
get a new game,
multiplayer.
that's it.
You can still go play MW3 right now with those weapons, MW2 right now with those weapons. The way you bought them in.
Well, you could do that the same
With-
thing. Yeah.
Warzone's different. If I bought it in Warzone, I don't even own those games.
Look, I think
They're not going to stop.
I
Next
get
year,
it.
we're probably going to have 4 sets of guns.
But you say it doesn't matter. I think it does matter. Like you're saying it
think so,
doesn't
too.
matter. I think it's a huge waste of resources. We're putting so much time into like, oh, okay, we're going to come out with these new 30 guns. Let's see how they add up to the rest of the 120 guns that we've had for the past 2 years and nobody else is using.
I can counter that argument saying we had all those guns in MW2. The meta still sucked. That was all we had. MW3, meta still sucked for the whole fucking year. This year, we have more weapons than we've ever had, and the meta is more balanced than we've ever had, and it's only been 2 weeks.
But that's because they probably put in a lot of time and resources into making sure that those guns like were somewhat balanced. I don't know. I just think whenever we get a new game, I would love for them to just focus on the new guns, make all the new guns the ground loot.
Because you could tab through them. You could, if you don't want to use them, you don't use them, and
This
it
guy,
just works out
dude,
fine.
this guy loves DMZ, bro. He misses it so much.
I don't know why you bring that up.
He misses
Considering
DMZ
how
so
we
bad.
played before preseason, and that was pretty much it.
I mean, I see both of y'all sides, and there's arguments to both, right? Like they've done it before, they could do it again, right? When we got rid of all our fucking guns in Cold War and in Modern Warfare 2019, right? And Vanguard. I guess the biggest thing is I do see JGOD's point, right? Like for me, the question is how much resources are they actually putting into these other guns? If they're putting crazy amounts of resources, fuck all that. Get rid of all those guns, right? Like, but if
That's my
it's
thing.
if it's like minimal, right? Never put these as ground loot. Never make them meta. And let
Or if
you
they're
know.
busted. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah,
When they're
yeah.
like busted and people want to use them because they're like the RAW or the bug, that's where it's like irritating to me. I understand though because there's two sides of this story. We have to understand, and this is another problem that comes back to core Black Ops 6, in my opinion, is there are people like us that don't have the opportunity to play the game all the time. they only have so much time to where, and we like for me, I'll fight somebody with using a D tier and a static, and I'll be like, this guy's a geek. Like, he's a nerd. No, like, probably he doesn't have time to level up the other guns. He doesn't have anything else. So it's what he has to use. And that goes back to, because Black Ops 6, it takes so long to level the gun up, or, you know, they just don't have the time to play. So I understand it, but the reason it comes from the heart for me to take the guns out of the game is because, like, I don't want to get killed by the RAW. I don't want them to waste resources. Like, I don't want them to have to, like, go and nerf the RAW. It should already not be that good.
Right.
So that's where I come from when it comes to the guns thing.
But there's people who, like you said, example, they started with the integration level 1. They didn't have perks.
They didn't have perks. They don't have guns.
All the guns are level 1. If you start a new account,
it'd be miserable.
Only use the
it'd be
no
I mean,
way,
I don't know though. People would just use ground loot guns. They would use ground loot guns. They'd level them up organically.
But no, but Ethan, it takes too long.
That's another issue. That's a completely separate
issue.
I agree. No, but they could just make that, I don't know, for the Black Ops 6 weapons. They could
bro, you're level 1 loading in.
You
they
got
got
try
nothing
on a new account, bro, and
you got nothing. And then you run into you.
No, I agree. The level upling is crazy,
bro.
but they could just balance it. Do you not think that they have it like adjusted for all like these other Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2 weapons to kind of like equally level up the same way that they did? Because they're all different levels. I think Black Ops 6 is like 40 something levels, and these are like
before it used to be 70.
Yeah.
So what? The number doesn't matter.
Inconsistency. I feel like
the number of levels doesn't matter. It's the XP that you get per level. So right now, whether it's 70, 40, like right now, okay, I actually, no troll. I thought this was going to be one of those things that was addressed ASAP. How the fuck is it still incredibly difficult for everybody to level up your guns? I thought that was going to be fixed by now. Like, no troll. I didn't even bother like making videos or
I saw
like
people trying the SOG and trying the Krig, and it's like, bro, they're like level 18, and they've been playing, and these people are good at the game. They're getting lots of kills. It's crazy.
It's a problem if you like. I have Dark Matter in my guns. Some of my guns are not leveled up. That is a problem, in my opinion. If you have the mastery camos, your gun should be leveled up.
Because Modern Warfare 3 would, dude. I mean, I guess it was.
Well, it was a different camo style. Because the way that game worked was you had to unlock every attachment,
which was horrible,
before you could get camo, which sucked too.
Yeah.
But it needs to be easier to level up guns, in my opinion. But from the business standpoint, from the business standpoint, they want player retention is real. They want you to play the game, and to level the guns up, you have to play the game. So make it harder. You play the game longer. That's business. That's part of it. They don't give a fuck about what we have to say about that.
Well, and I think for some people, they don't really care as much because they can still default on the other guns. That's why that
as well. Yeah.
Because so many people are rocking the Car 98. This is like, I see the glint. If I manage to kill the guy, they're rocking the Car 98.
Hey, question that my boy Tyler brought up, who's ex-Treyarch dev, and I agree with it. Better yet, how about we have no leveling up guns in Warzone? Shroud brought this up.
That'd be fire.
Yeah, he did.
What do you guys think about that? I need to let out my dog real quick. He's about to piss all over the place. What do you guys think about that topic? Should Warzone, you have to level up anything to play it?
No, I don't think you should. I think that would take out a lot of the stress of just hopping on the game and being able to play.
Be able to enjoy the game.
Yeah, 100%. Because I know my like cousins, IRLs, they'll text me like, yo, you want to play? And they're like, what's meta? And I'm like, oh, this guy. And they're like, oh, I've got to get a battle pass level 12.
They have to buy a store. They have to buy.
I have to get the gun, and then I got to level it up 40 levels. And they don't even care. They're like, yo, can you buy me a gun and drop it for me? And it's like, bro, it shouldn't be like that. We play a BR. Most BRs, you just go and loot, and you can play the game how you want to play or whatever you're looting. Warzone is so different because there's loadouts. And so we need to make it as accessible to people to use whatever guns they want. I mean, obviously some kind of progression would be great, but
one thing I did suggest to the devs is one thing they could have done is the default loadouts could be meta loadouts. And then what would happen is if you could have your own custom whatever, but generally when you tab over to the default, it would just be like the XM4 with the Jackal, 5 attachments each, kind of the meta attachments with the perk layout. And then you would utilize that perk and it would be serviceable. It doesn't necessarily mean that like it has to, oh, I like running a suppressor, it doesn't have a suppressor, boohoo, whatever. But it would allow them to be able to use those guns, and essentially the loadout would be, they just have less autonomy if they wanted to use like the C9 or some random ass gun or something like that. But I think if you had those options where they had the loadout that way, then it would allow for those default to solve that portion if they just don't want to do that portion. So I've suggested that portion. I think the no leveling would be fine too.
JGOD, let me ask you, how many games do you think we should keep guns? Like, so Modern Warfare 2 right now is like on a 2-year cycle. Like, do you think every year it should be like the game
I don't
before
think it matters.
and then
No.
the new? You just think we
There
should
was
get
a time
1,000
period-
weapons in the next 5 years?
That's fine. I think there was a time period where I thought that it would be a problem. But one of the big differences with Warzone 2 that they changed was that one of the things why they needed to change it was that the game couldn't sustain that. Like they'd never envisioned to integrate other games into Warzone initially. They didn't think Warzone was going to be a hit. They thought it'd be a lot like Blackout, where it would be like popular to a certain extent, but it ended up exploding. And obviously that changed a lot of stuff with Warzone and multiplayer taking the back seat, zombies taking a huge back seat. But I think inevitably what ended up happening was when they redid the engine, even though they fucked up a bunch of stuff, they allowed it so that they could integrate weapons more easily. And that's why one of the things with the weapon integrations has been way smoother than what we've had previously. I remember Cold War, literally none of the attachments did anything, with the exception of maybe the magazine would have the amount of ammo. Other than that, none of the attachments did anything. There were so many issues, and then ended up being laggy mess for console. That's why Vanguard's integration was so busted with Caldera. There was so many issues, which those really haven't been those issues again. And I think it's because of how they've identified the problem from the beginning, where they were able to course correct. They still have a lot of problems with the engine, but I think they solved a lot of that, where they could realistically go up to 1,000 guns. You'll be able to tab through whatever. If you don't ever want to see those guns, just guess what? Just don't go to that tab, and then you'll be fine. It'll just be kind of one of those things.
So just sorry, JGOD, what was the number that you said? Or it would just be infinite? Like
He just said, fuck it, just keep
I
going.
don't care.
He said just keep
like,
going.
as long as the engine can
fuck.
sustain it, which I think they reworked it so it could, and then they've incorporated the floor loot in a way where literally the only person ever having to see those other guns is people who want to put those in their loadouts. That's it.
I mean,
Oh.
I will say, I've used the static. Not gonna lie, I've used it.
It's good.
It's good.
And new superior.
The one thing that I will comment on is when you guys build a Black Ops 6 weapon, you know how there's a slide to fire speed.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen on MW3 guns. So for the static, there's a brief period to where you slide to fire, there's a serious delay to where you can't fire like out of your slide cancel to a certain time.
Right.
And I noticed those things are going to be in the game, which will slowly force people to get away from those weapons to the Black Ops 6 weapons, but you can still use them. But you still
I feel
can't
like
use them.
They'll adjust the attachments to offset that. Because right now, I think it was an oversight. They probably didn't have enough time on some of the stuff, because in the stats, it says it's 0 slide to fire time, which obviously is not the case.
Obviously
Right.
not
Like
true.
close
Yeah.
to 400.
Right.
I actually covered that yesterday on my close range. Why all those
I don't know.
guns, the meta right now in terms of TTK,
It's
you can
crazy.
literally use almost everything. It's ridiculous.
I think
But
every
if
year
you're moving, slide to fire.
I think we'll disagree, but I think every year we should get the new guns and the old one should go. I don't know.
Hey, as long as they're not meta, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
But
As long as
like,
they're
kinda
not,
what-
like, I agree with like Hector, as long as they're not broken, like the RAW, like if they're not busted, I don't care either.
I understand. Yeah, I
just never
understand
use
it.
them.
But again, like what JGOD just said, they have to now spend time figuring out the delay of slide to like fire on the old weapons that only a certain amount of people are using. I'm sure it's probably a decent high percentage. But again, should we not be encouraging like new players to be trying out the new guns and like progressing, at least like something to work towards, instead of just getting on like, oh, I have my gun from Modern
Yeah,
Warfare 2 leveled
but
up. I
it's-
got my cast off, and I don't have to use anything else. I'm only gonna use my cast off. 'cause
But
it's viable.
Bill from Finance only has an hour to play.
Yeah,
He wants a
I
game
get
for
it.
an hour. You know what I mean? So that I see
I
both
like
sides of it. Like I get it.
JGOD's.
People
I like
use
JGOD's.
the kilo for 3 straight years, bro.
I like JGOD's recommendation though. Just put the default loadouts with like
That's a good idea.
somewhat meta attachments. So if they want to use the new guns with decent attachments and not just get slammed, they can use the default loadouts.
Or make it no levels, like Tyler said from chat.
Right. Oh yeah. I
Make
don't
everything
think
That'd be
no level
crazy.
progression.
I think
That's what I'm
both
saying.
is interesting.
I think they should just do no level progression, let everything unlock, and just let people use what they want.
It would be crazy is like, again, conspiracy tinfoil hat here. Like, again, remember, if you buy a blueprint, you get that gun. Like, you don't gotta level that shit up. You get everything. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That is
So
true.
like, wait, do you get all the attachments for it too? Or is it
No.
just, okay, but
Nope, you only get the attachments on the bundle.
okay, but you don't have to now unlock that gun anymore, correct?
So you could use a bundle purchase like a prestige token in this game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you
Tinfoil,
wanna get-
tinfoil.
Via bundle. It'll say
Yeah.
unlock
So like
via
if you
bundle.
prestige, you could use, a bundle purchase to unlock the PP.
Yeah,
Don't ask me
basically
how.
by
Don't ask me how I
season
know.
three-
I know.
By season 3, you'll have so many blueprints for guns in the battle passes
Right.
and stuff that
Right.
essentially, when you prestige, you'll probably still have like 30 out of the 33 weapons unlocked or something stupid.
Dude.
You just won't have them leveled.
Okay. I like the thought process. Do I think they'll ever do it? No, but
I don't think so
it's
either.
good discussion. It's good discussion. All right, fellas, let's kind of shift gears here to kind of a different thing, and we'll wrap up with this. Boys, I mean, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this. And you know, talk to me, man. Guys, EWC has been announced for the second year now. There's a lot of kind of shit to kind of talk about here. What do y'all think about this? I think we kind of knew, especially I talked to these guys about this, and I mean, bro, they said, yo, we're doing this for 8 years. Like,
they said
we're
we're
not
running that shit
stopping.
back.
They said we're not
crazy.
stopping, you know, and they want to do it bigger and better. Obviously, we know that it cannot be more than World Series of Warzone. So however much money World Series of Warzone is, whatever prize pool World Series of Warzone is, that is the prize that this is going to be. Thoughts on this, fellas? I mean, Ryda, my question is, are you going to be trying to compete if there's qualifiers? You know, what's kind of your take on this?
Yeah, I mean, I will personally. I think majority of the player base will as well, just like World Series. I
Probably
think there's a lot of.
again, right?
I don't know.
I think so. That's a conversation I wanted to have with y'all.
I think a lot of the player base, a lot of the competitors will feel the same way that I do, that there was a lot of talent left out of EWC, a ton of talent there, but there were still people there that should have been there. I think qualifiers work in every aspect of comp in every game. I think that should be like the standard going forward. But yeah, to answer your question, I will try to go. Will I go? Don't know, but I think it's dope. It's massive for the game. Anything like that is huge for the game. I think EWC was awesome for Warzone 3. It was eye-opening. And it also gave people a like a spotlight that went there and did perform. Like for instance, Dongy. Dongy played incredible at EWC. He came from EWC. People knew he was the guy at EWC. Came from EWC. He went to World Series. He did the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's good for things like that. And it's also interesting in the same fact that you know, it creates storylines, and you got things like that had like the Fnatic thing last year. They went to EWC, they got second, they didn't qualify for World Series. So I think it's cool, man. I'm excited. I really am.
Yeah, this is look, bro. I in my opinion, right? This should stay Resurgence. Like I think for
It's probably the most competitive that way.
World Series of Warzone should be BR and EWC should be Resurgence. Here is the question though. Do you think they will keep it like that, or they'll see how crazy numbers are for Verdansk? Because obviously the numbers are going to be, I would assume, big, right? Now, are they going to be like, okay, Verdansk is back, we have to utilize that, like use that to our advantage, make this BR? Or are they like, you know what, it doesn't matter, we're going to make this Resurgence? What do you guys think?
So you remember Grant from Falcon Sector? I talked to him yesterday. He said that Warzone specifically was a massive success at EWC, even though it was like one of the first games. Like the viewership, the engagement, everything was great. So I have a feeling they'll probably keep it Resurgence. I kind of hope they keep it Resurgence too, because it doesn't take away from Big Map. It also gives like different players like I know Ryda's like an incredible Resurgence player, and so like it gives people like him like a better opportunity to like do really really well in a big
I
tournament.
don't think ball lies at that point though. The top 40 players on the big map, or the top 40 players on the Resurgence map.
No, I agree, but I do think that it just opens up more opportunities for
saying.
different style of players. Like, I mean, we saw Skull and them fucking dominate at EWC, and then they just didn't qualify for LAN for big map. So I like the verticality of it, or not verticality, the versatility. I like how different it is. They're two different like really big tournaments with two different formats, and it allows like this. It doesn't take away from either one. Like you win EWC, you get a lot of credit. If you win World Series of Warzone, you get a lot of credit. It's not like this competing, which we kind of saw with CDL. Like Optic won champs, and then FaZe won EWC, and everyone's like, but Optic still won champs. Like you guys got your Mickey Mouse. Like it kind of took away from like FaZe's like from them turning up at EWC. So I like that if they kept it Resurgence and just kind of followed that format. Again, I think last year was great. It's also easier for them to get 45 people over to Saudi. I mean, it also could potentially open up more opportunities where we get qualifiers on LAN. Maybe we get 90 people over there and they do like group stages or something, and that would be sick. If they do a big map, there's just no way we're getting 300 people over there, or even 240, or it's just not happening. So
yeah, there's no.
I'd like to see them keep Resurgence.
So, in your guys' opinion, should this be, if it's Resurgence, should this be on Rebirth or Area 99? I've talked to the group chat. A lot of them are like, bro, fuck Rebirth. We want Area 99. It's played out. That's the competitive group chat, right? What do you guys think this should be? In my opinion, Area 99 all the way. I'm tired of Rebirth. Like competitively, I think Area 99, you know?
Well, Fortune's Keep was even a better competitive
yeah.
I agree.
But I think Area 99 is still new. I want to see a little bit more like private matches to
Customs,
know whether or not it would play better.
Yeah.
Because off the cuff, it feels like it would play better, but it's hard to say definitively, I think.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that. That's one thing I wanted to say today is that we should not have brought Rebirth back this soon.
Yeah.
We should
Oh,
let
we're
Area
gonna spice it
99
now.
We should let Area 99 marinate for about a month because people just didn't really give it a chance. I mean, in my opinion, it's a better map. It plays better. Let Rebirth sit for a month. Let people play Area 99 and then let them adjust to what they want to play. Because Area 99 is a better map and it plays better than Rebirth does anyways. We just go back to Rebirth because it's nostalgic. That's it. It's not even a good map. Sorry for anyone that made it. It's not a good map.
He cooking. Listen, man, people like what they know, and you know that's been proven.
I agree.
People like what they know. Like us, I've been telling you, Rampage, right? Rampage is not bad at the game, right? He's pretty good, right? But he's like, I was like, yo, do you like Area 99? He goes, nah, I want Rebirth back. I was like, why? He literally said this. He said, because it's what I know. He's like, I don't know the map yet. I just want to go back to Rebirth. I'm like, bro, what?
That's why Area 99 needs to be played longer. That's why I don't bring,
right.
you know what I mean? That's why the duration of the map should be there longer.
And somebody commented on JGOD's post, one of his tweets, and they said, Area 99 is starting to grow on me. And I'm starting to really, really enjoy it. I'm starting to really like it. And I actually think that that's what people need is play it and get accustomed to it. Because like, bro, what do people not like about it? Like genuinely, like, what do people not like about it? I think the only thing I've heard is that third parties.
I feel like
it's mixy as
visibility
fuck.
is a little bit
I
weird
love how
too.
mixy it is.
I feel like there's too much.
I agree with this.
Orangish, like.
And that was an issue I had it next. That was one of my like complaints was we all said the color scale sucked.
Yeah.
We said that. They changed it. They did change it. But it's almost like from a visual standpoint, when you pick something up, like the color palette is far too similar in a mixture of different things to where it all blends together, you know, and I think that's part of the issue. Like whether it comes to lethals, tacticals, muni boxes, perks, I just think it's all very blended the same. And I've seen people talk about let's get a vibrant map. Let's get a vibrant map. Rebirth with the vibrant, like the vibrant color scale that was like at the end of Rebirth. Was it Warzone 1? That was the best color scale we've ever had for any map.
Yeah.
And let's just implement that into all maps, and then I think it would be make people more happy.
On it too is I don't know if you've noticed this, but I do feel like the floor loot, not necessarily what is on the floor, but like when you're looting, I don't know if they change. Like obviously they changed it, but it feels way better.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like it's not floating loot still.
It's different
like
though. It's better.
way better.
Yeah,
way
I
better.
agree. I think the looting overall is better.
Yeah.
It just comes down to a point where I don't know if it's because I'm not familiar with the game yet. Yeah, like what you're showing on screen, Hector, this would be insane.
Bro, imagine
that would be crazy.
if they had a colorful ass map, an insane, just just crazy colorful, and they played into it.
If you go back a little bit, the one with the beach, because that one obviously resembles the colors they could go with. But like the one with the beach, it's like even the colors
that would go crazy.
Well, that or even previously, obviously maybe a little bit more saturation on the blue. There's like 2 huts on the beach.
That looks like a
I
sheet
know
code.
what you mean. This right here.
I don't know, man. Look, there's just people, man, that they like the old guns, they like the old maps, man. They just want to keep the same stuff in the same game, like JGOD, you know, all 3 years and just never move forward. So, you know, I don't know. A new Resurgence map might not be for some people. You know, let's just keep the same thing every year.
I'm a little bit scared for the progression and for the future of the player base because it seems like no matter what, people are never gonna like.
We have to. Vondo was the best Resurgence map we ever had, and people, it still has never gotten the light it deserves because people still play Rebirth, bro.
Well, part of the problem was stairwells and water on the map. Before
the map was so good because the POIs were so different, like stadium, mall, like all the police station, whatever that other one was. Like I forgot the. I haven't played Vondo
could have
forever,
had
but
these colors and
it would have been
got
hard.
Agreed.
Like, bro,
So
this
good.
map is so fire. Like, imagine if they made this. Or what's that other map? I forgot what Carnival from. Or it was like in a carnival. It was in like an abandoned like circus, right?
Oh, that was I know again. I think it was like Black Ops
1 or 2. Like,
or no, I think it was Modern Warfare 3. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, like
There was like a giant. There was a giant tower in the middle that you could climb up like a ladder. I know what you're talking about. It was like Modern Warfare 2, like Modern Warfare 3 or something. It was. I think
it was
a DLC.
DLC for sure. It was DLC. But what I'm saying is like
Pretty sure that was MW2, I think.
I think it was MW2.
Look
It was
up
like a DLC on
Carnival
MW2.
MW2.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
MW2.
Pretty sure that's what you're
Oh
talking
yeah.
about.
Okay, not the colors, chat, because I remember it's abandoned, right?
Yeah, it is abandoned in the game.
But
Yeah,
that
this is
with
the map I was talking about. Yeah, yeah.
here we go, right here. So this is the one. Like, imagine that they made this like super colorful and super like what's the word? Like actual. I don't know. Like not taking itself too serious. Like not a Chica Island. You know what I'm saying? Like
Vibrant, happy.
vibrant, right? I'm not talking about the colors here, but I'm talking about like
Oh, that's old too.
if they made cool themes
That
to
was
a map.
BO2, right?
I don't know what map this is.
MW2.
Was it
That's
MW2?
MW2.
MW2. I know it was old.
Half the people in chat fucking wasn't even born. MW2 was out.
Yeah, like dynamic. Make it real, like, you know, bro, they even had oh shit, whoops. They even had the cheeseburger map. You know what I'm saying? Like they like Black Ops or Treyarch does a good job at just going, you know, crazy with their maps. And correct me if I'm wrong, Rebirth was made by Treyarch, correct?
Originally, yeah.
I think.
But the one we
original
play
yeah.
on now is not. It was High
it was
Moon.
I'm pretty sure Infinity Ward. No.
I thought it was. Argot, who
the
made
original,
Rebirth?
the Alcatraz.
Originally
was Treyarch.
like
Was Treyarch,
Treyarch
yeah.
made
That
it,
was
right?
Treyarch. But the one we like play on now, the edition that
It's High
came into
Moon.
Rebirth was, or that came into Resurgence was High Moon and I think one other studio.
I think the
But it's the
original
same
Warzone
layout,
one,
right?
Rebirth was Infinity.
Yeah, it's
this-
kind of.
How different is it?
But it changed. But remember when we first got it, and like when we first got it, Control used to be it used to be like wooden. What do you call that? It wasn't Control. Wasn't a building. It was construction. It was construction.
Yeah.
That was construction. There was a couple other different areas on the map. Then it kind of evolved into the Rebirth. We had Caldera days where basketball court was completely open. You know, right outside of prison, the basketball court, that was a big flat area. There were a couple different areas on the other side of prison. Then it evolved into what we have now with the tents and shit inside basketball court, all that. Beanox and High Moon is who made the Warzone Resurgence Rebirth.
So okay, just for my train of thought, right? It's like Treyarch is the one that actually made the map, though, and then High Moon and Beanox were the ones that just kind of reskinned it, kind of changed
For
different
Resurgence.
flows.
For
Yeah,
Resurgence, yeah.
like right. So Treyarch, in my opinion, Area 99 is gas, right? I think a couple things they say it's too crazy, it's third partied. How can you fix that? I don't know. There's probably ways to fix that. I wouldn't even know, right? But Treyarch also made Area 99, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, I could be faded. Area 99 is my favorite Resurgence map to date. Like, and that's I don't fuck with Resurgence like that. But I'm playing Area 99 and I actually fuck with it. But again, I have to remember I like it because it's mixy as fuck.
That's
Like,
why I like it too.
you are fighting 24/7, and Rebirth, it's like, bro, the pacing of Rebirth is so fucking slow. Like, unless you got a 2-box VPN and you're getting, you know, those lobbies to where, you know, like it's
The map stays alive. Yeah.
yeah, the map where the map stays
yeah.
live. It's like it's not like that. Like regular pubs, bro. And you know how I know this, and you know how I can back up my claim here is 2v2s on Rebirth died no troll in the second circle. 2v2s on Rebirth whenever doing comp tournaments, they were horrendous. And playing pubs, they die so fast. But 2v2s, the one that we just had yesterday or 2 days ago, Tuesday on Air 99, there was maybe a couple anomalies where it died like in third zone, fourth zone, but for the most part, it went pretty much to end game. And it was mixy. It was fun.
agree.
Like it feels
To be
like
fair,
you're getting into engagements.
Yeah,
have
but
to
you know what's
see-
better than Area 99 2v2? Avon 2v2.
Ooh, those were
tournaments
fun.
insane.
Those were
tournaments
fire.
were insane.
Facts.
Like the
Remember
Halloween
that.
event, the Halloween on Halloween Vondel, Shifty, like with Shifty one with Diaz,
Yeah,
I played
yeah.
with Direct. Lucky
Those
played
were
with
fire.
Clumball. That tournament was crazy.
That tournament was insane.
That tournament was so fun, bro. We never had another one.
In which,
That,
you
that
know,
was the
To be
year
fair,
of
I will
Bondo and
say,
Drake's. That
well,
shit was fire.
We're gonna
That
have to
shit was
see
fire.
because the tourney we had a couple days ago was like kind of like a creator one. So we have the pros playing like in a few days, right on the 25th or something. So I mean, I guess that will kind of play out of the pace of play and stuff. I'm not sure how 2v2s will play out on that, like with like the best of the best going at it. Like I'm sure Shifty and them are just gonna like wipe the lobby. So but I will say like the reason I like Area 99 a lot, and I think some people do as well, is because there's not a lot of like verticality on it where you're either going underground or you're like on a level playing field, which is probably why a lot of people feel like they're getting third party a lot, because there's not like layers where people are like kind of staggered and stuff. You kind of finesse a little bit, but I think it makes players think about their positioning a lot more, because you can't just like run around and then like, you know, get behind like stairs or corner or whatever and hide. It's kind of like a more, I don't know, you got to think about a little bit more where you're at.
Look, man, I know, I feel like Area 99 to me is incredibly fun, and I like it because I'm getting in the mix, right? Like,
I think that's
don't.
why casuals don't like it.
Okay.
Too.
Yeah. I can see. I always say Rebirth is slower. It's without a doubt slower. And please don't take this any offense, chat, YouTube comments. It's easier. Like Rebirth, it's you fight.
More forgiving.
Yeah, more forgiving. You fight in your area, then okay, you go to the next one. You go to the like Area 99. It's you're fucking going. Like you're moving, bro. Like you go, you land a reactor, get your shit, and you're in constant fights. You want to fight, you'll find one. Like you'll find one. You know, or Rebirth, it's like sometimes it just things kind of end, kind of like, you know, I think my opinion just too fast. The circles just die too fast. But I mean, I'm still gonna play. I'm not saying Rebirth is a bad map. I just really do enjoy Area 99. I just wish people would give it more of a chance.
I don't like the gas in Area 99.
That shit's dog shit. That shit's ass.
Yeah,
Why did they do that? Why did they do
also
that?
like that on
When
Big
you're
Map?
kicked, your screen gets all blurry. It's not like that on Rebirth. I didn't feel like.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Bro, it's not. Yeah. Why is it like that?
I have no idea.
Is that to hinder? Is that to hinder gas plays, or is that just
Does a radiated take off that like negative
don't-
effect?
no?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know then. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
It also makes it worse because you can only get durable gas masks from certain areas on the map, so you don't ever have a durable. So that makes it worse too.
Damn. Yeah. Why they did that, I have no idea. But look, man, fellas. I mean, we've talked a lot today. We've yapped. I feel like, and there was a lot of good things that we talked about. A lot of obviously things that we still have wrong with the game. But to kind of wrap things up, man, I think the game's in a pretty decent spot right now. And yes, there are going to be shit that we don't like. We're not saying that it's perfect, right? Just disclaimer. But we are in a way better spot this week than when we were last week. And for them to even put things in the right direction in 1 week, to me, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. I did not expect things to be resolved this fast, or for them to even make any changes this fast. So yeah, fellas, closing thoughts. Mr. JGOD.
I'm looking forward to the next update. Hopefully they continue to fix some of the things that are just annoying to play the game, that prevent you from playing the game the way you want to play the game.
Yeah.
I think it's simple.
Okay.
Hopefully it's simple. And then the network, get that shit figured out.
Oh, the net code, all that bullshit. Okay. EBatez, closing thoughts, man.
I personally love Area 99. I've enjoyed it. I've been playing it. It's been a lot of fun. I think like the 8 attachment guns or the 5 attachment guns, it's great. You can buy your guns and you can kind of pick and choose depending on how much money you have. I like it. I think it plays well. I will say again, I think server stability, all that stuff, bullet reg, just, you know, hopefully that's a focusing issue that they're locked in on, because I think that would make the night and day difference between how good this game could be. But I'm excited. I think, like we said, I think between Warzone 3 to what we're at now, I think it was a pretty lateral move, but there's so much more potential with where we're at. So I'm excited to kind of see how the game develops over the next few months, and hopefully we get some good updates.
Okay. All right. Mr. Ryda, talk to me, man.
I said it once, to say it again. It's the best. This is the best version of Warzone we've ever had. It's
Okay.
all down that hill. I played them all. This is the best. I mean, I can play this shit all day. It's so fun. It's very enjoyable. The updates to come should only make the game better. I think at the end of the day, we also need to take a step back and we need to realize that we are playing a video game. You're supposed to have fun. You know what I mean? Supposed to have fun, enjoy it. Supposed to have fun, enjoy it. So, you know, for the entire player base, whether you're sweating your balls off or you're a casual, still fun. They did a great job. I'm just really excited for hopefully Big Map rank, bring some dope into the game for the Big Map players. Those you guys that are on Big Map are really struggling. I know it has to suck playing that every day. It has to.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. Yeah, I mean,
it's fun.
Love that, bro. Like, I think for me, man, you asked me last week, I would tell you, bro, I don't know, man. This is looking rocked. It's looking not the greatest. This week, I confidently say I will be the first one to call them out for when they, they do changes that I think are bad. But I will also be the first one to be like, yo, to glaze them, be like, yo, this so far right now, I'm actually excited to end the pod and get on and play. And I can't say I really even felt like that during Modern Warfare 3 that much. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now. And I'm hoping that shit only gets better. So people can hate the game. People can hate me. People can hate all of us for enjoying it. But at the end of the day, like Ryda said, I love that. Are you having fun? Yes or no? That's the only thing that matters. And for me, I can confidently say yes. So unless I'm about to get on the fucking game and I'm a rage, but we'll see what happens, bro. Yeah. But anyways, boys, Ryda, EBatez, JGOD, thank you guys as always, man, for hopping on the podcast. And everybody at home, thank you guys for watching, bro. We'll catch you guys in the next podcast very, very soon. We'll see you later, baby. Peace, peace, peace.